What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I wanted to give Galarian Corsola a try in the Go Battle League. This is a Pokemon that oftentimes I think is a little bit overlooked, actually, right now in the current meta. It's very bulky. The only issue is it is a little bit slow to reach in charge attacks, but its fast move pressure with Astonish, as well as its general flexibility with the coverage move of Power Gem, gives it quite a bit of play. I'm going to pair it up with Shadow Drapion as well as Corviknight. I'm excited to see what it can do. Now, unlike my normal videos, I'm actually going to be doing this completely off-stream. Normally, when I do my battles, I am doing them live on my stream, twitch.tv/itsaxon, but I figured today, with Go Battle Thursday being a thing, might as well take full advantage of the extra sets, do some off-stream battles just to see, the difference. Maybe it's going to be a little bit easier to play when people don't know my team, but we'll see if we can even find matches, because the Q times might be just a little bit high. I guess not too bad here that we got a match. We'll see what Galarian Corsola can do, though. I'm kind of excited to try this out, because I haven't used it in a decent amount of time at this point. Maybe I shouldn't be excited. We're seeing a pretty bad lead here. The Mightyena. Non-Shadow is kind of interesting. Normally, Mightyena users are on the Shadow variant. We end up baiting out Corviknight here, which is a pretty decent answer, unfortunately for me, to the Shadow Drapion. So, first game, not looking amazing for us currently. But maybe we can get some shields down. If I get a debuff with a Crunch, we can two-shot pretty easily. No debuff there, but, I mean, you can still see we do quite a bit of damage, and they gave us a decent energy lead. There's a chance that maybe still I can flip Switch Advantage the longer this goes on. I would hope they don't boost, though, with an Air Cutter. That'd be kind of bad. Okay, good, no boost. And they are below half HP, so if they end up letting this go, there is a chance here this game that this can be a little bit awkward for them. Gotta turn on Do Not Disturb. We're getting notifications. Yikes. Anyway, they do let that go. How much do I want to fight for Switch? I mean, it's a Mightyena team. I feel like Switch Advantage could be pretty helpful here, especially with how bad the lead was. We'll shield this up again, hope for no boost. Okay, good, no boost. Get the Aqua Tail through. Likely we get a shield here from them. And if they shield this, I think I shield and farm down. But we'll see how it's going to go, because maybe they don't shield? Okay, they don't. Did they farm us down with Mightyena? Yeah, okay. They might go for a Poison Fang here to snipe us down. But, I mean, I get an Aqua Tail, which if this ends up landing, it puts them into Air Cutter range, and if they no-shield it, then... well, if they shield it, that's also fine, is what I mean to say. Okay, they... this is not how I thought it was going to play out. They might just have, like, a Wigglytuff in the back, I feel like that's not super uncommon with Mightyena, and that would mean Galarian Corsola might not have a lot of play this game. That could also be a reason as to why they didn't bring in whatever their other Pokemon is into Mightyena. They Poison Fang us, so that's kind of crazy. I guess, no, it's not, because we see the Wigglytuff come in, as we were thinking it could be. I'm going to Air Cutter here, and that might be a mistake, but I'm going to do this, and then I'm actually going to make another kind of crazy play. I'm going to switch into Corsola, just because I feel like Corsola has such little play this game. I might as well get a little bit of use out of it if I can, and after that Air Cutter chip damage, they're basically in double Power Gem range. We'll see if this is going to be playable. At the very least, we can clear our defense drop from that Poison Fang, from our Corviknight. But this game is gonna look very awkward here, I think, because Corsola's fast move pressure doesn't do a lot. Icy Wind has debuffed my attack stat. A lot of debuffs on the opposing team so far. Power Gem gets a shield. Interesting, I guess? I'd love to see them throw energy here, but no, they're over-farming, which does make some sense, I guess. If I can switch myself, I would love to be able to swap right now to my Corviknight. I can't switch just yet. I'm going to wait a second there just so I can give myself the optimal amount of time to, swap out of this matchup. And they will, once again, go for an Icy Wind here, likely debuffing my attack stat. Well, it's not even a chance, right? It's a guarantee that's going to happen. But maybe I can get lucky, and I can get an attack boost. I guess I should have thrown here first, but I want to save energy just in case they do bring back in that Mightyena. Mightyena, at this point, is a little bit scary to me, because it has a lot of fast move pressure with these Sucker Punches. I think I need to be able to farm this down to have a chance to win this game. If I get a boost right now, I would be so happy. Now, this is, again, a non-Shadow Mightyena. It's a little bit bulkier. They just have a move. Yeah, I mean, I think I tried this game as much as I really could. Unfortunately for me... Wait, they Poison Fang again? Why? Maybe that opens up the door a little bit? Okay. I'm going to do this, where I actually take a couple of Sucker Punches on my Corsola. I clear any debuffs that I still had. Maybe I can get to 2 Air Cutters, and maybe I can still win. Corviknight's the old reliable, right? Maybe there's a chance here. As long as I don't get Charmed down in 1, or if they have a move, then I lose, but... I might just get Charmed down here. Oh my goodness, how did we just win this game? Okay, well, I was literally giving my speech on how I should have... I don't know, play better or something, but no, I guess we just win, so that's why you don't give up, guys. Easy win, not even worried. Well, Q back up here. I mean, that was an interesting game number one. Hopefully the Q times aren't too bad today. Yeah, instant Q, not too bad for us here. Hopefully we see a little bit of an easier game than that last one, though. That one was kind of stressful, not gonna lie. Shadow Obama Snow, okay. I mean, my whole team has played into this. I think my Shadow Drapion's my best matchup here. But we likely do get some shields down with Corsola just because of how bulky we are and how much damage Astonish and, my charge attacks can potentially do here. Oh, wow, what a catch, actually. What if I power gemmed? I guess it doesn't even matter. If I power gemmed here, that would be fine for them one way or another, but that's just a nice catch. I need to be on my game more than this. That's so tragic that I just let that happen. With that said, they're at, what, 7 on the Abomasnow? I was not expecting them to catch. I thought they'd at least Energy Ball before switching out. They're very weak to fighting right now, so the final Pokemon's probably a Jellicent. I'd have to imagine. At least it's something along those lines. I don't love shielding, but I think I do have to. Because, I mean, at this point, a Crunch wouldn't have been enough to knock out just yet, so I want to build up as much energy as I can. I'm hoping a Crunch plus 4 Poison Stings knock out before they get their next Swift off. But if not, then I will have to throw some energy. But keep in mind that Abomasnow still has energy itself, so they might just bring it back in to try to combo play me. No, they do let the farm down happen here. They're going to be 2 away from moves on the Abomasnow. Or, wait, what? Huh? They bring in the Dusclops? Well, that's insane. They're 2 away on the Abomasnow from, like, back-to-back Weather Balls, but I don't know why you'd bring in Dusclops of all things. Because, I mean, sure. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be baiting here. Sure, I guess you might not have to shield the first, but I actually got a defense drop, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, they do end up doing that, I guess. Oh, why am I aquatailing? I don't know why I'm doing anything this game, but they're kind of freaking me out, okay? So I'm playing frantically myself here. We do probably get a shield. Well, dude, if they're not shielding anything this game, I just win, right? Do I not just farm down? I think, my nerves from that last game, you can see they're kicking in right now. But I think that we just win. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing either. Yeah, we just... Oh, that doesn't knock him out. Anyway, we still have our Dusclops, or our Corviknight for the Dusclops in the back. And even if they do knock out our Corsola, we Sand Attack this down. We Sand Attack down the Dusclops. We don't even need to throw another Charge Attack this game, which I guess is good, because they knock out our Corsola with a full Nightshade loaded, but I think we're fine. I think this game did not play out how I figured it would. There was a Ghost type in the back like I thought, but it honestly did not play out the way I thought it was going to. Maybe they have, like, Poltergeist or something here, but I don't think Poltergeist would even be enough. Dude, what a game. What a high skill game that was. Okay, well, we had a really awkward game in the first one, and honestly, that second game, not exactly smooth either. We gotta lock in here. I'm not the best Corsola user. I let a catch happen. That was bad. I shouldn't do that. But we will lock in. Next game here. This one's gonna be a commanding victory. Just you wait. Bit of a queue time there, but luckily, through the power of editing, you guys don't see it, so we get to go into the next game almost immediately here. Clodsire on the lead. Another Pokemon that I've been seeing people try out a little bit more recently. What I don't like about Clodsire, like, why I don't use it a lot myself, is because how inconsistent it is as a Pokemon. It is really good, though, in these matchups where it's, like, 2 very bulky Pokemon fighting. Because, I mean, the pacing doesn't matter quite as much here. But it is a Pokemon that, like, specifically into, like, Shadow Drapion especially, is not even that good of a counter to us. So, I'm hoping right now that this... Man, what are they doing? They just... they have a lot of energy here, I guess. That's fine. They are going to be wasting some energy here by going as much over 100 as they did. But, like, Shadow Drapion's not even that scared of this Pokemon, is what I was going to say, before they overfarmed a million energy. So Shadow Drapion, once they throw another move here, actually can maybe even swap into this Pokemon. I don't know if we want to do that or not. We'll see. Because Earthquake is going to hurt, right? We'll see. I'm going to no-shield this, and I think I'm going to bring in my Shadow Drapion now, just build up some energy here. Because Drape Up Energy is such a hard Pokemon to take down, especially if your opponent comes in a little bit late here with a regular Feraligatr, actually. So we get the energy initiative against them, and that means this is going to be a lot less tricky than it would otherwise be. Crunch is going to land. That is big. The worst thing about this matchup is if they play out the 2-shield, they can make this so annoying, where they end up just maybe going for a catch at the end of the matchup. So I'm happy to get that consistent damage off into them. Hydro comes through, but now I can Aqua Tail them to get his shield back. And if they shield this, I just shield the second time, farm down. If they ever bring that Clodsire back in, I mean, I can bring in my Corviknight to that too. I would imagine they're probably on Stone Edge as their secondary move on Clodsire, because if they're not, Corviknight walls them, and Corviknight is a pretty good Pokemon. I mean, it's one of my favorite Pokemon in this meta. I oftentimes do get heckled for the amount of times I use that Pokemon myself. But it's fine, you know, I roll with the punches. Interesting that they bring in an Annihilate here. Geez, if I could speak, that'd be amazing. I think I just stay in here for a second. I actually get a shield there. Because, like, they have to close combat us. And if they close combat us, their defense is going to be very much lowered. And a lowered defense stat should mean a higher chance of winning for my Corviknight. I just bring in Corviknight now. And hopefully, we take another close combat here. And then, I would imagine Corviknight should hopefully sweep. We will find out shortly. Okay, big close combat does do about half our HP. And now, oh, dude, what a catch, actually, by them. Really nice catch. I shouldn't have overfarmed as much as I did. I thought the switch clock wasn't going to be back up as quickly as it was, and that is a little bit scary. But, I mean, I still have energy here. I still have my Corsola as well. So, we'll see if I just threw the game or not. We will hope that I didn't. Likely Annihilate does come back in. But I can bring in the Corsola, right? That's what I'm talking about here, where Corsola comes back in. It has Astonish damage. It's not going to get low kick down. But they throw instantly. They throw instantly, and that's a really smart play. Because now I don't even land that Astonish against them. That Astonish would have been huge to get off against them right now. Can I farm this down? I don't think so. I think I need to throw energy. Okay, they come back in with this. Okay, I think I'm fine. I think I can get to the next air cutter here against the Annihilate before they get a move off. But if not, then that is so sad. But they're getting very close to a potential move there. Nice, yeah, just one sand attack away. We outpace the Annihilate. You know, once again, a shaky game. I'm nervous, guys. I'm nervous. I'm playing off stream. I'm not used to this. Just the sole eyes of the YouTube audience here. You guys are freaking me out. But luckily, we got the win. Like, we got 3 wins in a row so far. We're doing well. Although, man, I wish I was more commanding with these wins. They're kind of shaky. I'm not going to lie. I need to lock in a little bit more than this. And we got our next opponent here. So we'll see if we can win this one a little bit better than the last couple. I keep on saying that, but, like, this time I mean it, I think. Shadow Quagsire in the lead is actually, I think, in a pretty good spot for us. Just because, I mean, Astonishes so much to him, right? Nightshade as well. Pretty neutral attack. And the main thing is, I want my Shadow Drapion to avoid this if I can. It's not the worst matchup in the world, but it's a negative matchup in general, so if I can make it so my Shadow Drapion's on a better spot than this, I would be pretty happy. Okay, they're just gonna go for another Aqua Tail. I think that 2 Aqua Tails and a Stone Edge is the play in the Zero Shield matchup for our opponent to go for. We'll see if that's what they're gonna do. They might try to go for a catch here. Oh my goodness, they do, but they catch on a Togekiss. You know, honestly, I'm not great at calling those catches sometimes. The 3-turn into 2-turn moves, sometimes the animations don't even show up too well, which, like, maybe that's, like, me coping. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm actually just, like, not completely wrong. I'm gonna go for another Nightshade here, just because, I mean, Togekiss is actually a pretty strong Pokemon. I don't really want to give it too much wiggle room here, and they no-shield that, actually, so I don't have a great way to absorb the energy. I'm just gonna go into my Corviknight here, save a little bit of my Corsola just in case I need the fast move pressure. And I think I can sand attack this down before they get to a 3rd attack. Yeah, they'll get a 2nd Aurasphere off, but they're not going to get a 3rd. We've seen Quagsire, we've seen Togekiss. They're a little bit soft to Ice-type damage. I wonder if they have, like, an Empoleon in the back. Or maybe, like, a Mandibuzz, I guess, in the back. Not exactly what I was expecting to see. Double Flyer, okay. I don't necessarily love this, but I don't hate it either. My Drapion's going to have a lot of work to do here, but I do trust in Drapion oftentimes, so we'll see if we can make it work. They're at 4 right now, so they have a Shadow Ball, or potentially a Foul Play or Aerial Ace, depending on their moveset. I'm going to try to go for a catch. Doesn't quite work, but I think we're still in a fine spot. If they're on the double, well, it's not really double nukes, because Foul Play is not really a nuke, but if they have Foul Play plus Shadow Ball, then they are walled here in this matchup, and it looks like that is potentially the case, because they just Foul Played us for some reason. Well, no shield again. I think that means they're on Shadow Ball and Foul Play. Like, there's no way they're not, right? So we just wall them. We save our Corviknight in the back, just in case we do need it a little bit more. I'm going to go for an Aqua Tail bait, because no shields have been used just yet this game. I think there is a good chance we get a shield from them right now. Yeah. And honestly, if we land an Aqua Tail, then they're going to be in farm down range too. Aqua Tail is going to do a lot more damage, though, to us than anything else that is going to be thrown this game, so we will shield this up. And I think at this point, just come back in. Well, I was going to try to swap instantly, but game doesn't quite let us there. Um, we'll go for the Astonish damage. We have an Aqua Tail loaded. Our Corviknight has energy on it as well, so if we can bring in Corviknight and get another move off, that should be good for us. I am a little bit worried, though, about how much HP is left on that Mandibuzz, because Mandy is a very bulky Pokemon. It can potentially be annoying for us still this game, depending on how they play it out. We go for the Air Cutter. We might get a shield, maybe not, though, because it doesn't quite KO. We get a boost, which is kind of fun, because now maybe Corviknight can actually do some damage against Mandibuzz. This game's gonna get so awkward. I don't like anything about what's happening right now. But if I can swap out and save my Corviknight, then that Quagsire's not gonna be able to do as much work here this game. Okay, we can switch, which is big. But they have a lot of energy. I have to no-shield, but Shadow Ball would hurt quite a bit if they throw it. But they're just foul playing again. I'm not quite in farm down range here, I don't think, but... Oh my goodness, this game is gonna be the end of me. I don't know exactly how it's gonna play out, and I don't love that. Okay, I shield this up for sure. And then I throw my move as quickly as I can. As long as they can't snipe me down with Quagsire, I should be good. But they might be able to swap in a second here. Yeah, they can. That is so sad. I was one away from my move. If I could have thrown that move, I win this game. But the fact that they get this off, I think I just get farmed down on Corviknight now. It's not even an I think situation. There's also a Togekiss in the back line, right? Ah, man. A lot of bulk there in the back line. They played around that switch clock, though, really well. If we're being honest, I think that that was a very well-played game by them. I should have, first of all, not let the catch happen. My Corsola keeps getting caught on, but second of all, maybe I could have not stalled the switch clock quite as much as I did there. It's fine, you know, we deserve a loss there. Oh my goodness. And when you get a loss like that, you are given the worst possible lead just to, like, really throw a wrench in your plan. Oh, man. So everything about this game is going very poorly so far, because not only is this a bad lead and a bad counter swap, my Corviknight looks very strong at what I've seen so far. So potentially, whatever they have in the back could be pretty bad for us. They actually got a shield on that first attack there. They have to Stone Edge us in the zeros to knock us out with a single charge attack, so I will no-shield this and hope for the best. Yeah, they only Aqua Tail, so they're at 4. 5. They might go for a farm down here, but after that crunch defense drop, and the fact that they're down as shield, I mean, my Drapion at least is putting in some work right now. Although they might mudshot me down before my next move. I get another debuff, which is kind of funny, but yeah, they do farm us all the way down. And they will get a Stone Edge into my Corsola. It's all going to be down to my Corviknight here. Now, oftentimes you see Steel types in the back when you see a Guzzlord lead. So, if it's like an Empoleon, this game is still very playable. If it's like, I don't know, Fortress, maybe not as much. Okay, they're staying in for a second, which is kind of interesting. I'm happy with them throwing energy here, because Corviknight's pretty bulky. It can survive this. And if I can get some Air Cutters off, especially if I get a boost, then maybe this is not the end of the world. I don't know why they're staying in. Maybe it is an Empoleon. But if it's anything else that they're just trying to, like, drain energy here and then swap out to, then at least the switch clock is going to be desynced as well. No boost. But we can survive this next move. Again, like, we are just going to try to leverage our Corviknight as much as we can. We have no idea what's in the back, but I do have that shield advantage that I can potentially use to my, you know, advantage in the endgame here. Another Air Cutter going to be thrown. It's not going to be quite enough damage to knock out because we didn't get that boost. But even with the boost, it wouldn't be enough from here. But it might put them into, like, a farm down range if I, you know, did get boost at some point. I'm not getting boosts. I need to stop saying the word. I'm trying to jinx myself here. We'll shield this up. We have to at this point. Corsola does not have an easy way of knocking this Pokemon out. Okay. A little bit slow on the swap out here. We do see that it is a Steel-type Pokemon, known as Corviknight. And we have to make a call. Do they go for a bait, or do they just full send? And I am going to shield this up in hopes that they do not full send, or that they don't bait, rather. Yeah, and we do shield properly. So that is helpful. You know, that's not terrible for our odds of winning this game. But maybe that's all they wanted. There's a chance here that they're fine at this point just sacrificing their Corviknight and coming in Guzzlord and trying to farm us down, which honestly would not be a terrible play. I need to get this out of the way, though, before their payback. If I get a shield here, I am in a very playable spot. If they no-shield this, I would honestly be more scared, and they do shield that. They still need a payback here, and they're getting into Air Cutter range on this Corviknight, so I just need to have enough energy to Air Cutter this and Air Cutter the Guzzlord. Can we reach that much energy? That's going to be the plan. Is this an Air Cutter, or is this a payback? Did I miscount? That'd be a really quick payback, I think, but We'll see. Just an air cutter. Hold on. I think this might knock out. If this doesn't knock out, I'm going to be so sad. But I think it should, right? It's a red health Guzzlord. And their Corviknight at this point doesn't have a lot of energy on it. Yeah, we knock him out. We don't get a boost, because who needs boosts? But Corviknight is all you need, honestly, in the Go Battle League. We're getting RPS for about 90% of this game. But the last 10%, Corviknight and Corsola, somehow putting in the work. Honestly, there's the boost, of course. Honestly, I think if they let their Corviknight go, that was their best way to win the game. Just sacrifice Corviknight. Use the shield advantage Guzzlord to just get a brutal swing into both my Corviknight as well as my Corsola. They probably could have had me there. But the fact they shielded bailed me out a little bit, and that's why you never give up, right? It was looking pretty bad for most of that game. But, I mean, we were able to leverage our Corviknight in the back. And that's all you need sometimes. 2660, not a bad climb here. I was in the 2700s at one point, like 2748. Dropped a little bit since then, so not quite expert rank yet, so not too bad to, climb back up a little bit if we can. Porcelain to Clefable. Man, this is like another one of these really annoying leads that they're probably going to try to catch on us. Although, actually, what if I just switch? Because I do have two better answers to this in the back. So what if we're the ones with the initiative here? I'll go instantly for the Aqua Tail to make it so they don't get any free energy against us, because when you swap in like this, 2-turn into 2-turn moves, then you're desynced by 1 turn thanks to the swap taking a turn. Makes it a little bit weird. We actually have a Eufisk in the back. That's kind of cool to bait this out for my Corviknight to not have to deal with it later on. They do have 5 Fairy Winds of energy, so that means that right now they are at a Meteor Mash. But, man, these Aqua Tails do so much here. And we also have to keep in mind, Eufisk's pacing's not what it used to be, right? It's a Pokemon that takes a full 5 Thundershocks to reach Mud Bombs now, rather than in the past, where, let me swap. Oh, no, I don't swap, and I don't get my sneak there because I was trying to wait. That is actually a little bit bad that I ended up doing that, because now that Clefable could try to snipe me down at almost any time, and that's not great. But it is what it is, I guess. I tried to be fancy there. I tried to go for a Mud Bomb catch. Didn't quite work. But, I'll take the shield. And I can try to go for a catch here at some point, too, because, I mean, I didn't CMP, so my switch opportunity is still up. Do they throw instantly? Yeah, they do, okay. Well, that's still fine. We baited out the Eufisk, right? And Corsola should be in a pretty good spot here to farm this all the way down. If I get a lot of energy, then maybe it's not the end of the world here. Because honestly, I'm not that scared of Clefable on any of my Pokemon, right? A little bit of lag there, it looks like, with the fast moves, but hopefully that's not going to matter too much. We should only take 2 moves here. Yeah, we're getting that spinning ball of death. Never love to see that. But yeah, that Clefable at this point only has a Meteor Mash, right? So it doesn't quite knock us out from here if they end up bringing it in and throwing it. I could try to catch it on my Corviknight too if I wanted, but I don't know if that's a good play or not. Because I'm actually pretty close to back-to-back Nightshades right now. They likely throw instantly with a Clefable. That's what I'm expecting, is they come in Clefable, instantly go for a Meteor Mash, and I get a sneak here. Oh, well, that is not what happens, but if I'm being completely honest, I think I'm fine with this too. Because Power Gem here is going to put them into a range where Payback should be enough to knock them out now. They might have Brick Break on this. I guess not. 7, okay. So they don't Brick Break us, so I'm not going to be debuffed in any way. This should be a Moonblast, and if that's the case, then we should be in a pretty playable spot. Don't debuff me, okay. Yeah, Moonblast is going to hurt quite a bit more than you'd expect for it being resisted, but I mean, that's a lot of energy down the drain, so they're still 3 away from the next move, unless they have Swift, but if they Swift us, that's fine too. Let's overfarm as much as we can here. That way, hopefully, if that Furret does for some reason still have Brick Break, which, I mean, I'd expect they would have thrown that first if they did, but if they do have it, I should survive and still reach a Payback against them. And I'm actually pretty close to a Power Gem too, on my Corsola. Okay, yeah, we just get the Payback off. That's all we really need. Again, dude, Corviknight in the back. It's just the best Pokemon in the game. People in the comments are always saying, why do you always use the same Pokemon? And I mean, I'm sorry, it's hard to come up with unique teams every single day, but I try. And, sure, sometimes the unique teams have Corviknight on them, or Quagsire, or Licky Licky. But, you try making a new team every day. See how easy it is. I also like to use teams that are, actually good. If I'm being honest, I do like to use teams that are really good. And Corviknight, I think, is unironically, the best Pokemon right now in the meta. And our opponent agrees. See, I'm not the only one. We see the Corviknight in the lead, so we'll see what they're going to do. Likely, they're going to go straight for the payback here, because, I mean, Corsola is so bulky. An air cutter bait can be kind of risky, right? But at least I can outpace them here to the Nightshade. It's not really an outpace as much as they don't want to throw in bad timing just in case I overfarm. But I get my move off first. We chunk them down pretty deep into the yellow. Astonish damage adds up so much against this too. I would love to be able to call a bait here, or like shield and nuke, but I don't want to play that 50-50 game. And Corsola is bulky enough where it doesn't really matter if they land the nuke anyway, right? It's going to be a Pokemon here. You know, we're falling for the catch again. But that's honestly a catch I think I'm fine with, because I can just overfarm a little bit more energy here. And then I can go in with my own Corviknight, hopefully sponging the damage this thing's going to throw. Alright. We'll see what moveset they're on. I'm hoping that they're not on Stone Edge, but I think most Clodsires will probably be on Stone Edge, just for this specific matchup. And I guess it helps against Altaria, too. Let's see what they're going to do here. Yeah, big Stone Edge. It takes 3 of those, though, to knock us out, so they need a lot of energy to finish off this matchup. They should be at 1 Poison Sting after the Stone Edge, so 5 away from the next, which is good to know. And, I mean, that's 2 pretty good answers to Drapion so far. Surely the final Pokemon is not going to be as bad for us. Right? Like, surely. Surely that's the case. Maybe they're triple countering Shadow Drapion. I think Drapion's a pretty fun Pokemon, very flexible, but there are a lot of things that in the meta can give it a little bit of trouble. I'll CMP the Air Cutter here just to make sure I don't have to shield. And to make it so if that Corviknight does come back in, they have to go for a full-on payback to knock me out. Alright, what are they going to do? They no shield? Makes sense, because who really wants to shield an Air Cutter at that point? And Corviknight does come back in. Ah, man, this is like a tempting shield, honestly. So tempting, in fact, I'm going for it. Like, let's just make this so uncomfortable for them, where they have to go for another payback here to knock us out, potentially. Or I guess they're gonna... Is this a payback? Maybe it's a payback. I'm gonna no-shield, though, either way. Okay, just an Air Cutter. So that's a lot of wasted energy from them. I'll go for the payback now. I should be able to reach an Air Cutter against most things that could be in the back. I still have a lot of energy on my Corsola, and my Shadow Drapion hasn't even seen the battlefield yet, so we'll see what's in the back here. Not super great to see this, but they don't know my final Pokemon just yet, so maybe we get a shield here. I would love a shield. Very much I would love a shield. But we don't get it. Triple counter to Shadow Drapion. That is insane. I can't believe they're doing that to me. But that should just be an Aqua Tail. I'm going to no-shield this. Oh, man. Okay, if we can win this game, I would be very happy. But I don't know if we can. I don't know why I'm baiting, but I think just going for the Aqua Tails will put the pressure on them earlier, because I do have that Nightshade on my Corsola that I'm so close to. We get a shield. Honestly, I'm going to shield this up. I think I have to. And now, I just go for the crunch, right? Like, I think I have to. Because if they no-shield an Aqua Tail bait, I could be in trouble, where I don't know if I can farm this down. But by going for the nuke here, I also give them the chance to shield this up and potentially put me in a very awkward spot. But we go for the catch. We go for the catch, and hopefully, this gives me just enough wiggle room to still win this game. Aqua Tail is going to knock us out. I'm going to bring in Corsola here to try to drain some energy. And now, I don't know if an Aqua Tail is enough to knock this out. I know I survived 1 Mudshot. I don't know if I survived 2. So I need to see in the moment if I survive to get the crunch. I don't get the crunch. I'm not sure if Aqua Tail is enough here. If it is, I would be very happy. If it's not, I would be very sad. Oh, it's not even close. I'm very sad. Sad Axon. 3 counters to Shadow Drapion. Nearly came back from that with a really nice catch, but... that is the problem with Shadow Drapion. There's a lot of things in the meta that can neutrally deal with it, as we did just see there, but... You know, we tried our best, I think. Alright, we gotta, like, get a commanding win at some point today. Like, a win that just feels like a really satisfying and confident win, right? There's gotta be at least one of those that happens today. We've seen Empoleon on the lead. And, honestly, my Drapion, once again, doesn't really love seeing this Pokemon, so I am happy to see it here. But, man, I hate this situation, because they're likely gonna try to catch on me. I've seen that 20 times today. I would not be surprised if it happens again. Oh my goodness. You'll never guess what they just tried to do. I'm going to bring in my Shadow Drapion here because I don't want it anywhere near the Empoleon. And honestly, I don't necessarily need Switch Advantage that much this game. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't need it as much as they probably want it. mind games in this matchup are sometimes the Malamar does bait a foul play because they know that foul play plus superpower is enough, so they might as well not debuff themselves early. I'm going to no-shield the first move. We'll see if they superpower or not. Yeah, there it is, a foul play. Nice. That's a big no-shield. Okay, they are, like, waiting or something? I don't know what that was. Maybe they're trying to get themselves lower on HP? They might have just been lag, if I'm being honest. I don't know. Oh, they foul play? That's crazy. I guess we just farmed down, though, because they were either waiting or, like, I don't even know what that was. But I think after the Astonish damage, there's actually a good chance I can knock them out here with a Crunch. Although we have to keep in mind that they are going to be in a spot where they're just at the next move right about now. But I should survive this on Corsola, right? Surely? Surely I survive this? Corsola's bulky? I believe in you, Corsola. Easy. I have back-to-back moves. If they catch, whatever. I actually got a Crunch defense drop against them, which might be pretty bad for them, because that's going to make it so I do so much more damage here with these Nightshades. I can't quite go for the farm down, but they actually... I don't know why they swap, but they swap into Shelgon, so instead of just having to throw a full-on Nightshade into an Empoleon, I chuck it into the Shelgon, the Shadow Shelgon at that. Wow. Well, that is a very efficient use of my energy. I'm going to wait for a second here just so I can switch into my Corviknight after throwing a Crunch, because I want to make sure they don't get a big farm down against our Shadow Drapion here. Shadow Shelgon, if you didn't know, has access to Flamethrower, which would basically one-shot a Corviknight. We don't want to give them any unnecessary energy. At this point, we can just go for the Air Cutter here, Sand Attack down, the Empoleon, and there we go. I guess that was the commanding win I was looking for, although it was an odd game. I don't know what was going on with that Malamar in the mid-matchup there, but, you know, you take those. All right, next match. Let's see if we can keep it going. We've got some pretty good games now, I'd say, with this team. Another Empoleon lead. You know, we didn't see any, like, super amazing leads so far today, but a lot of these, like, neutral leads, right, where my fast pressure adds up a lot, and my opponents likely try to catch everything I do, but, you know, it's fine. That's the Corsola way. They're at 7, so again, they're at 2 right now, right? Which means 3 away from the next Hydro Cannon. Corsola is bulky enough to survive these. At least 1 pretty easily, 2 kind of easily. Okay, this time they don't catch, so we just get our Nightshade off. I've never been so proud of myself. This is big. We want this Pokemon out of the way as quickly as we can. Make sure that our Drapion does not have to deal with it. They actually shield that, which I think is kind of odd, because, I mean, they can bank some energy here if they want to, which they likely will, right? They're probably going to swap out now, catch my move, but my Astonish damage has done so much to them. Wow, they don't switch. I just get either 2 shields or switch and shield advantage. Either way, I would be very happy. If they shield, I'm switching. Yeah, I'm not going to stay in there, let them farm us down, because this way, they only get 1 Hydro Cannon off with this Empoleon here. I will have to end up using a shield, though, just to make sure I don't get one-shot by a Hydro Cannon, right? That would be kind of bad. And now, I should be able to overfarm a little bit, go for the Crunch. They do catch on an Azumarill. I mean, you know what? I think that's fine. Azu, while it is a very bulky Pokemon, its biggest drawback is it's a very abusable Pokemon at the same time, right? Because I can just build up so much energy here. My Poison Stings actually do quite a fair amount of damage as well. And in just a second, I might be able to swap into my Corviknight, maybe even catching a Play Rough, depending on what they want to throw. They might just Ice Beam, though, honestly. I can bank an Aqua Tail. We caught a move, but again, this is likely probably not going to be a move I actually want to catch. It's likely an Ice Beam, which they'd throw anyway. Yeah. I guess I could have caught on Corsola, too, but just on the off chance they don't throw there, I don't want to give them any unnecessary energy. 10... Oh, wow. More Peko in the back. That's actually... I don't love that Pokemon. But maybe I think we can still win this, because our Drapion has so much energy, right? Five. Alright. Do I shield this? I think I do. It's gonna be an Aura Wheel, right? There's no way they Psychic Fangs us. Okay, good. That is helpful. We'll see what's gonna happen. Okay, and they go for a, what's it called here? A Psychic Fangs now. I should survive this. I think I can switch out, actually, and bank the energy on this Pokemon, and make it so I can have a lot of energy here and on my Shadow Drapion. And I think that's going to be very beneficial to our odds of winning this game. I just have to go for the Crunch immediately, because Azu has an Ice Beam loaded, right? And that is what we see come in. I am kind of low on HP, I'm not going to lie. HP is getting lower than I'd like on my Corviknight. So I need to make sure when that Empoleon comes in, I pay back it as quickly as I can. Because I don't want to take any unnecessary fast move pressure. Okay, nice. So we go for the payback here. We still have our Corsola around, which should be able to get an Astonish off. Hopefully, it's not going to be like a Simul KO situation. I'm hoping my my Corviknight actually just clutches out the game for me. It does. Nice. Okay, that was a very technical end game. But keeping the energy on our Corviknight, being fine, taking the Psychic Fangs, I think was the big play there, right? If I would have thrown a little bit soon, I wouldn't have had the energy that I would have needed to pay back the Empoleon. And that would have been absolutely devastating, I think. So, very close game there. And here we go. I think this is our last game of the set, if I'm counting correctly. Although, if you ever watch the attacks and gameplay, you probably know sometimes I don't catch, or I don't count properly, so we'll see. Quagsire in the lead once again. So it's a fine lead. We'll try our best to just neutralize this for our backline. They're at 7 right now, so they could be either one away from back-to-back Aqua Tail or just full sending a Stone Edge right when they reach it. I would expect a Stone Edge, honestly. Okay, I mean, Aqua Tail's a fine play. Dude! I hate this. Nice catch, though. But, like, you just can't see animations. I swear, you just can't see them. Maybe I'm just coping so hard, but I, myself, just never can see those animations when they swap and they catch with a 3-turn move. You can see it, like, I should be able to see them switch, or if they're, like, actually intentionally waiting, they shouldn't get the Charm Sneak. But, like, neither of those things ever happen, it seems. Was that, only a Swift coming through here? They're not debuffing me, I guess. I'd love to be able to Poison Sting down in 6, but I don't think that's quite as possible as you might expect. Yeah, no, so I do have to throw this energy here. But at least that's, you know, not the end of the world for us. I can throw the Aqua Tail. I can then potentially, if they shield this, shield the Swift. And then go for a catch. Because I think they're probably going to go for a play here where they come back in Quagsire and snipe us down with an Aqua Tail. I would not be surprised at all to see that. And I want to save this energy. Wow, yeah. I mean, they actually don't technically snipe us down because they do overfarm a little bit. But that's fine. They should be at 8 right now. I think, I mean, I don't love... Oh, okay, that was actually a CMP. I was going to say, I would actually just throw instantly anyway, if I could, because I want to make sure if they get another Aqua Tail off, that I don't get sniped down by that. So we actually do get the shield there. Nice. I mean, I should have an Aqua Tail on my Shadow Drapion, right? So I should be able to snipe down all of this energy just by bringing in my Drapion now. Do I have a move on my Drapion, actually? I don't know. Now I'm second-guessing myself. Honestly, I'll bring in Corviknight here, because Corviknight's also fine in this matchup. And saving energy on Shadow Drapion could also be good for the backline. Maybe I want to Crunch or an Aqua Tail later on. Why am I second-guessing myself? I need to, like, actually have my counts down to a T. This is so sad. Tragic behavior from its Axon. But it's fine. We survived this move. I hope we can go for a Sand Attack down before they get another attack off, but it will be a little bit close, because Quagsire is very spammy, right? Togekiss in the back. I don't exactly know what to do here. I think I have to switch, but I can't switch. I think I lose. So that's not good. I lose this game. I cannot believe this is what's happening right now. I don't know what we could have done here. I guess we'll see. Did we have an Aqua Tail? If I had an Aqua Tail loaded, I had an Aqua Tail loaded. I could have won this game so easily. But, like, Aqua Tail doesn't do anything to Togekiss. So it's like, I needed another move from my Corviknight into the Togekiss. I should have just trusted I had the Aqua Tail. I snipe this down with an Aqua Tail, I get an Aqua Tail into the Togekiss, and then my Corviknight sweeps. I just gave the Quagsire so much unnecessary play. That's so sad, man. I don't know why I did that. That could have been a 4-1. That could have been an easy 4-1. Man, I'm honestly disappointed in myself for that. Not a big fan of Corsola, I'm gonna be honest. After today, it was, like, neutrally kind of fine and does so many things, but the amount of times that it's just such an abusable Pokemon. It's kind of like Azumarill itself, right? So easy to catch against, especially if you're fighting me, I guess, who can't, for the life of me, call a catch. But, like, it works out. I went, like, 7-3 with the team, so it's obviously not a bad team. Oh, man, I think I played pretty bad today. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.